Hey there everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bob Cheslinski. Today I have a video for you on a beginner band piece. It's called Android Attack and it's by Michael Oare. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel so that you get future videos that I'm putting out. Also, in the comments below, if there is a beginner band song you would like me to review, please put that name down and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. All right, let's get to the video.
All right, I thought we would do a review of this song. I played this song a couple years ago. This is Android Attack by Michael Oare. And this is published by Hal Leonard. And this is another beginning band piece. Let's start by taking a look at the flute part. And you're going to notice this is a little more difficult key. So we're in the key of E flat major, so we have B flat, E flat, and A flat in the flute part. We're still doing 4/4 time, so that's common for the kids. And it is a little faster tempo. The flutes are going to have to count multiple measures of rest, so that can be kind of difficult for them to know when to come back in. We've got a moving melodic line here. I don't think it's too difficult scale-wise. And they're working on forte, loud, 7 out of 10. As we come down to the second line, we're going to see that we have our first A flat in the flute section. And this can be a little bit difficult. You're going to find that some kids are not remembering to do that, so you have to keep reminding them 3 flats, 3 fingers, and pinky. On the second line, farther down, we have a little slur with an accent, so they're working on that. This third line is full of A flats, so they're going to have to be a little mindful of that. We have this crescendo from a forte to a fortissimo, so from 7 to 8, and then they're going to work on their staccatos, tut, right into some accents. At 31, we have a little melodic line that is complete opposite of what the beginning is. Very smooth and flowing. That's a very long 8-count slur. So that's going to take some work to do that. And we have some thirds in here. And that continues on to 39. 39, the original melodic line comes back. And then over here in 41 and 42, we just have this nice little melody that the flutes are going to play. It's different, yet still incorporates what happened earlier in the piece. And it is kind of a nice little piece with this accent, leaning on that A flat, going into the G. Kind of gives a unique sound in the piece. And then we finish this piece off by playing some staccato notes and going back and forth between G's and A flats. So overall, there's some difficult parts in here. It's a little more difficult than some of the other pieces we've looked at. All right, so let's just see what the clarinet part has in store for us. Clarinets are going to be playing B flat, so they're going to have to be thinking about that. And down on the second line, we see that. Right here in the first measure, a B flat, A key and the register key, the octave key in the back. And I always am telling my clarinets on A's and B flats not to pick their fingers up and put those down, but rather roll and pinch. Much easier and quicker to do that. They're playing the same melody here, and it looks like as we go down through, they're playing basic notes except for that B flat. And they're also echoing what the flutes are doing with the staccatos here and the accents. They're also counting multiple measures of rest. This section right here, we have the big long slur, and we're doing a lot of right hand work on the bottom of the clarinet, and we're doing a soft dynamic level. So some of these notes can be a little tough for the kids to remember. So you might need to go through something like that till they really get it under their fingers, because they're going to repeat that a few times here. Little dynamic change coming into 39, which brings back the original melody. And then right here in 42, and 41, they're doing what the flutes did. And then, of course, here at the end, they're also echoing what the flutes did with the staccatos and the accents at the end. All right, right into the saxophone part now. And I'm curious what's going on with the saxophones. I'm thinking Android attack. You know, the saxophones have to have something a little bit different. It's going to be kind of neat. And they do. They're not resting like flutes and clarinets were at the beginning. They're getting this initial rhythmic melodic melody started here, representing the Android. We've got the staccato and the accents at the beginning, separated by the rests. That's going to kind of give us an interesting robotic feel here, I believe, at the beginning. And they continue doing that pattern throughout a good portion of the piece. Not a lot of dynamic change until we get down to 35, where they're also doing what the flutes and clarinets were doing with this big long slur, very smooth, not choppy at all like the beginning was. So it's kind of nice they're doing an opposite section. And then as we scroll down through, we see 47 to the end is pretty much the same as what flutes and clarinets were doing. After looking at what all the other parts were doing, I'm a little curious now what could be going on with the tenor saxophone. So I'm going to take a look at the tenor saxophone part today. And I can see they're pretty much doing what the alto saxophones were doing. I don't see anything out of the ordinary or opposite of what they were doing, except they don't have that melodic line that the flutes, clarinets, and saxes had. They're just pretty much staying with that rhythmic, melodic pattern representing the Android. All right, so let's take a look at the trumpet part, and we can see the trumpets are in the key of E flat major, so they have B flat in their key, and it's E flat concert, so this is the key of F. We're in 4/4 time. They have the multiple measure of rest, same melodic line at a forte, so we're really establishing this melody throughout all of the instruments in the band, the sections. The trumpets carry that on for a very long time till they get to crescendo, leading to the fortissimo, staccatos and accents like everybody else had. And then this is different for the trumpets here, leading into 39. We're going from a piano up to a forte, and it's just a long sustained note for 8 counts with a crescendo on the last 4. Then that melody comes back. And then 47 to the end is pretty much like the rest of the band, establishing that melodic, rhythmic, Android robot type sound. All right, let's see what's going on in the low brass. Low brass has to be mindful of their key signature, E flat major, so they got B flat, E flat, and A flat. So we've got third position A flats. Right away we have 2 of them up high. They're also doing this part that the saxes were doing with this very staccato, accented, rhythmic, melodic pattern. And we can see they're carrying that out through most of the piece like the tenor saxophone was doing. So tenor sax and trombone are together on a lot of this. And they have that crescendo up to the fortissimo, lots of multiple measures of rest. The nice thing is, though, this pattern is very easy for them to learn. You know, this is 4/4, 3/3, and then a 1/3 back to the original again. So a 3-measure pattern. And then from 47 to the end, pretty much doing what the rest of the band did. So just knowing this is an android, a robot, and it's an attack, I have to feel like the percussion's going to have some interesting things going on here, especially on the percussion 2 or 3 parts. We can see as we start off, the snares are off. And I can tell looking at these patterns that they're really backing up what the low brass and tenor sax and some of the other parts we're doing here at the beginning. So we've got this nice little pattern building here at the beginning, getting ready for this attack. A lot of patterns that repeat, So once they master these patterns, it's going to be easy just to go down through the piece and repeat them. Occasionally we have a dynamic change, and occasionally they throw in some accents just to give some variety to the piece. Multiple measure of rest they're going to have to count. And let's take a look at page 2 here. And from 47 to the end, they're just reinforcing what the rest of the band is doing. Overall, this is a pretty fun piece, and this percussion 2 part is really going to help to give this piece a whole other element and make this pretty fun. So on the percussion 2 part, we see we have a china cymbal and a suspended cymbal. So as we look down through here, it says suspended cymbal strike on bell with stick or hard rubber mallet. So we can tell that with all this metal, this metallic sound here, we're really trying to be that android. And as we go down through here, we can see the parts. Nothing too difficult, a lot of counting. So you want to put some good counters on these parts. We change to some soft mallets here. And they have more of a variety of dynamic changes on this part also than some of the other groups. Back to stick on bell. And then the big ending here with everybody else accenting what they're doing. The last part we're going to take a look at today. We've got break drum and ratchet. So that's pretty cool. Break drum, we've got heavy metallic sounds here, accented. So we've got that movement of the robot being portrayed here and the sounds that it might make as it's moving, along with a ratchet, kind of emulating those gears of the android moving. And as we look down through here, we can see their parts kind of play off of each other. And as we make our way down, it kind of builds here at 27, adding a little more break drum in, leading into 31, where that very melodic pattern was with the rest of the band. We've got the gears really turning here, leading us into that. So I almost feel like the way the percussion is portraying this, when we hit 31, maybe the robot kind of slowed down. Maybe we thought it died. And then as 39 hits, and that big ending section at 47, this robot just comes back to life, and now the attack continues. So overall, a really cool piece. I know when we did this a couple years ago, my kids really enjoyed it. The fact that it has android, a robot, in the title, and you've got all these metallic sounds in the percussion section, and rhythmic patterns. It's really a cool, fun piece. I think your kids will really enjoy that.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I really appreciate the time you're taking in watching these videos that I'm making for you. I also want to remind you that there will be a companion video coming out on Thursday. I like to bring out the reviews on Tuesday and then the companion listening video for the full entire piece on Thursdays. So make sure you check back for that other video. Down in the comments below, if there's a musical idea you want me to make a video about, if there's a beginner band song that you would like me to review, make sure you put that down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and like my channel, and I will see you in the next video.